Hello, I'm Richard Hooper and this is SatTV Week, and I'm pleased to be joined by Doreet Oren of Gilat Satellite Networks. Doreet, thanks for joining us again. What's the last year been like for Gilat?
First, thanks for having me again. I'm very happy to be back, and even happier to tell you that we've had a wonderful year. Since I've been here last, we've done a lot of things in our strategic areas of in-flight connectivity and cellular backhaul. Perhaps I'll start with in-flight connectivity. We have now deployed one of the largest of its kind networks with our customer GoGo. This is a real global network with 25 teleports where we have installed our SkyEdge 2C hub and hundreds of airplanes flying with our Taurus airborne modem, providing a user experience that is really fantastic. People are actually on the airplane tweeting speed tests, results of speed tests of 130 megabits per second. So the whole industry is tweeting and wowing about the amazing performance that you get while flying. And this is a huge network because we're talking here about 25 satellites and over 100 beams of a continuous smooth coverage. So we're very pleased with that success that we're seeing now with GoGo worldwide. Now, in terms of cellular backhaul, Gilat has been leading satellite backhauling over LTE, and I spoke about that last time we were here with some of our big customers such as SoftBank in Japan and EE, Everything Everywhere, part of BT now in the UK, and Sprint and T-Mobile in the United States. But we have now some additional customers like Globe, large telco in the Philippines, and KDDI in Japan. And we're very happy to see the continued effort of ours with LTE satellite backhauling, also for extension of networks into underserved and unserved areas, as well as for emergency response and backup. So we're seeing also that application of interest to the MNOs for satellite backhauling.
Now, Gilat are actually debunking some of the myths around cellular backhaul. What are they?
Yes, absolutely. I've been speaking about it quite a bit in webinars and in articles, and we see really that there's three major myths that are now being debunked about satellite backhauling. The first has to do with performance. Because of the inherent satellite delay, there's a lot of concern maybe satellite can't really perform and give true LTE performance. Well, that's not true. Because of the acceleration technique that we've developed and actually patented together with SoftBank, we are reaching speeds of 200 megabits per second, and the user experience is no less than terrestrial. So that is one myth that we have debunked. The other myth has to do with the pricing. Of course, satellite backhauling has a reputation of being too expensive or very expensive. Now that's no longer true because of high throughput satellites that have reduced the cost significantly. But not only that, there's also the TDMA access scheme of bandwidth sharing that is also lowering the cost. So we're seeing now that when you look at the total cost of ownership, the business case for using satellite is very much on par with terrestrial solutions. And as a matter of fact, if you look at the ROI, at the return on investment, you can see that because of the fast deployment of satellite, we're getting a quick return on the investment, and MNOs are very pleased to be actually using satellite backhauling. And the third myth that I'd like to point out is complexity. Yes, satellite backhauling is complex. I'm not here to say it isn't. But what we've done is we've captured the essence of that effort into a managed service that we provide for the MNOs. So for example, in Globe, we do the satellite backhauling setup, the capacity, the satellite capacity, the service, the installation, the 24/7 service, and we are answering the SLA, the service level agreement of the MNO, and doing it all ourselves while they can focus on their core competency, and the MNO can go about their business while we take the complexity from them. And more than that, we're also often integrating into the core terrestrial network at layer 2 instead of at the IP layer 3 level, which is often causing some kind of an issue for and complexity to the MNOs that we have also debunked now with layer 2. So we're feeling very pleased with debunking these myths and really having LTE backhauling over satellite becoming now more and more mainstream.
But what about the drive to 5G?
Oh, that's very much something that we're busy with. 5G is definitely the ubiquitous connectivity everywhere, anywhere, not only in cellular. As a matter of fact, we are involved in two fronts with 5G. We are also involved with SAT 5G, that's part of the Horizon 2020 in the European Commission, to integrate and define more right now the standards of smooth integration between satellite and the terrestrial networks, and that is a very important initiative that we're involved in. And also from an R&D perspective, we are expanding our X architecture. This is the architecture of SkyEdge 2C of our solution that is already a distributed cloud-based architecture to be able to answer and connect through these interfaces that need to be done for 5G, and building the next generation modems of 1 gigabit per second, and we're very excited and feel very much that with our success of 4G, this is an evolution to interfacing with the 5G core networks.
Now, we hear a lot about disruptive technologies coming into the market. What's Gilat's view on that?
Well, that's definitely true. We're seeing not only the geostationary satellites, but we're seeing now the LEO and MEO, the lower orbit satellites, and we're very involved in addressing the needs there and in building the appropriate modems to answer that type of constellation. And of course, there's other kinds of antennas that are being developed, and we're very involved in those, like the electronically steered array antennas, the ESA, the phase array antennas, that will allow much faster and less friction on airplanes, and very quick to find the different satellites that are needed when you talk about a constellation of lower orbit satellites. So we're very involved in the next generation technology, absolutely.
Doreet, thank you very much.
Thank you again very much for having me.